Aries, let's clear some smoke. We're going to take a look at the overwhelming energy surrounding family right now. So let's see what the divine needs you to know. And get right on into it. Divine may have three best cards for the overwhelming energy surrounding Aries and family right now, please. Three best cards. And one more, please. 2 minutes. One more, please, divine energy. Overwhelming energy surrounding Aries right now for family. He was wanting to give me two, so there we go. Two or more, actually. Let's see. Oh, I see. So mental energy spaces in life purpose, as above, so below, and then the reflections of that around you. And at the in the environment, you have friendship, and friendship is also a very important balancing agent to the bond of family, because all family, I mean, you are related by blood, you know, but you're not always friends with family. So friendship is an issue here too. Insert short, like there's family that's family by blood, and then there's others that are not only by blood, but they're by, you have a beautiful bond of friendship. Okay. That sweetens it. And then you have passion here in the spiritual realm. Reflect back this life purpose. And then centering or underneath it all is lightening your load. Okay. So there's some work you're doing, or that you're about to do, or that you have let be known that you're doing. And you feel like this is your life purpose. Matter of fact, not you feel it and you know it. Okay. Everything's reflecting back to you. You know, it's been something that's been brewing underneath the surface for a very long time. You've always wanted to do this particular thing, and now you have been guided at a time to begin to do the work, to take the steps to make it a reality in your life. Okay. The divine is asking you to do that, and emphasis on asking you to do it. And it's fruitful. Whatever it is going to be beautiful. I mean, the reflection is there. You know, the divinity is surrounding the energy. You have a natural flow when you're doing it. For instance, you may not be getting financial gains or material gains from doing it, but the spiritual work, the energy levels that you're changing and vibrating, the healing processes that are happening about for you in your mental space and your spiritual space, and just your overall outlook during life. It's an overwhelming sense of peace and calm that you have. The work instills a certain level of calm and certainty to you. It gives you a certain level of confidence that really cannot be grasped by anyone but you, because it's specifically for you. Now, at the center in the environment, you have friendship, and you know, oh, and that face above is like an elder. It's something that you're doing is guided by a family, that an ancestor. Okay. It's either you recently found out that what your purpose is, or what you're looking to do right now with this life purpose, was something that was done by an elder family member, like a great though, someone really far back, couple of generations before you, before your particular branch of the family tree. And finding this out has really unified your flesh and your spirit to say that, oh, this is what's calling me. This is why I have this ability, like this way of seeing things. It's in your DNA. It's in the genetics. It's there. It's in the blueprint, right? And so now you understand why you're being called to continue on that particular legacy, because in the rest of the family, it's kind of been muted, and it may have skipped a few generations. And now it's that energy and that gift, that spiritual gift and guidance is showing up in you again. And for the longest time, when you were maybe little or kids, you always had it, but you kind of suppressed it because perhaps it just wasn't something that was understood by your family. Okay. However, there is I don't know, the energy is coming up of cousins, really, that you're very close to, that you're bonded to, and maybe particularly those friendships really did encourage that in you, and they may have been the one to lead you down the path and show you that particular ancestor or distant relative was involved in this, because maybe you tried to tamp it down, like, oh, that's ridiculous. I can't do that. I don't even know where I get this from. Like, why is it here? And then your relative, one of who was a good friend to you, was doing research on the family tree and found that information and gave it to you, and that unlocked a lot for you. Not only that, but it allowed you to receive the energy from that ancestor, that relative. Their knowledge is now able to download for you in its own way. Passion. What you're being asked to do, you have this deep passion for. Again, even if you're not receiving any material or financial benefits from it, it just gives you a sense of contentment. It gives you joy, or it enhances your joy. There's a confidence. There's this, you don't understand why you're good at it. You don't understand why you love it, but you can't not do this thing that has come up for you, for your purpose, for your life purpose path. You're not sure of what's going to evolve from it, but you know that whatever is going to happen is going to be for your good and for the good and blessings of those around you as well. Okay, whatever, because you're in you helping a lot of people. Okay, even if you know it, or even if you don't know it, you are helping a lot of people. Now, lightening your load is to let go of anything that you are pretty much feeling like this is going to be in conflict with family values. Okay, and maybe something that you're doing is, whatever this gift is, this life purpose, is a bit taboo, and that may be why you're kind of conflicted about bringing other people in or letting people know what's going on, or whatever the case may be, because you're afraid of what will be said or anything else. Interesting, I'm hearing the word kooky. I don't know why. That's definitely not one of my normal words I would use. But it may be that, like, the relative is like, oh, she's a bit kooky, or da da da. Now that seed done got into you, and this. And the thing is, it's always going to be about the fruit of the vine. And if the fruit of the vine is in service to others, and by default you're serving yourself because you're healing too, then you're doing the right thing. Okay, whether it appears to be right in layman's terms or in man's world, in the material plane, it depends on the circle you in. Okay, because some people tell you, oh my gosh, this is absolutely the most incorrect thing of incorrect things you could ever try to incorrectly do, and then you move to another place and space, and somebody's like, oh my gosh, you're so gifted, this is amazing, I know some people who could really benefit from this, let me put you in touch with XYZ, and then this will happen. So you remember that. Okay, sometimes like Goldilocks. Okay, and the porridge, too hot, too cold, just right. Okay, because if it's what the divine wants for you, it's gonna flow. If it's not, it's gonna be a struggle. And if you're not struggling, then keep going. Effort is different from struggle. It may be an effort, but if you're not struggling, if you're not on the struggle bus, then okay. And interesting, I'm hearing, I was about to do something else right there, Lord. I lost it. It'll come back though. Okay. Let's get into the details. All right. Deep breath for me, Aries. Open mind, open hearts. Get ready to receive what the divine wants and needs you to know right now regarding this. All right, divine may have 5 best cards, 6 best cards regarding the details of this for our Aries. Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Queen of Swords in reverse. Six of Pentacles in reverse. Death upright. And a tide's turn. The Chariot in reverse. And one more, please, Divine. Knight of Swords. What you got to do, you got to get this out. You got to do, because this is really going to be potentially a stepping stone for you to blossom and evolve into a whole new realm of understanding of life and your abilities and manifestations. Okay? When you begin to do divine work that's divinely led, you can start off specifically in one path, okay? When you answer the call to your gift. And initially it's going to be tough. That's why very few people are capable of staying with it long term. And sometimes the backlash, both publicly and privately, can overwhelm a person. And it's not good or not bad. It's just part of the human experience, especially if what you're doing is considered unorthodox. Okay. But sometimes it's whether you're going to decide you're going to, like this with the death card, you're going to walk alone into this transformation, meaning like you're never really alone, because your spiritual guides, your supernatural team, the divine supernatural team is always with you, if that is how you believe and how you see it in some form or shape form of that. And you're always going to be sent earth angels with which to encourage you at the very moment that the powers that be in the opposite direction are trying to discourage you. Because if someone is truly trying to discourage something that truly brings light to other people's world, they really don't want you to help people wake up. They really don't want you to help you. They really don't need you helping people think. They need to feed off of that. And you can't feed off someone who's awake. You really can't, because they know what's happening. They're going to move out the way. They're going to dodge them bullets. But if a person is sleepwalking, they're easily susceptible. They can fall. They stand for nothing, so they can fall for anything. And if you're not, meaning if you're not actively thinking, if you're not considering, if all you're doing is moving on your sensory, what's happening, what you're feeling, meaning that your emotions are weaponized within you and against you, then you can be used at any point in time. But if your emotions, as the divine gives them to us, are tools with which to build our homes and make things better, to know what needs to stay and what needs to go, et cetera, then you are you're going to become a light worker by default, and you're going to be able to help other people have a fulfilling life and be able to bring others to a sense of balance in themselves. So that's what you're looking to do, no matter what it is that we're talking about. If that is the path that you're on, stay focused, and you will be given the energy and the strength to keep walking. Sometimes you'll be barely making a step a day, but that's okay. Other times you're going to be out here, doing a 5K in one day. It depends, but you will have, the point is constant forward motion. And one of my favorite spiritual poems is Footsteps in the Sand. And when you see two sets, we walk side by side, one behind, whatever. But then when you only see one set, and that's when I carried you. Keep that in mind. Now, Queen of Pentacles to the Queen of Swords in reverse. You have two feminine archetypes, probably leaders within the family circle, that are very much against what you're doing right now. They've gotten wind to what's going on, hence that kooky aunt story or kooky relative. And it feels like it was a feminine energy, or a very empathetic energy, a very receptive energy, a healing energy within the family. There's how their energy sat with them, whether it was a man or a woman. But these two women are not to be relied on right now. Okay? In the sense that if they are being nice to you, don't trust those smiles. Because they're praying in opposite of what you want in your life. So let's say you tell them that this is something you want to do, and you believe that you can help people with this particular gift. Again, it's an unorthodox way of doing it. They're going to be praying in opposite for you to get, to let that go. And they're going to be praying for your soul, and they don't want you to burn and everything else. And that's because they have a fear of what it is that you're doing. Now, you were right and correct to try to trust them, because they're your matriarchs, your people in your family that you love and respect. We got a Queen of Pentacles and a Queen of Swords, someone who is very good in the material world, very powerful, but she may wear a mask. She's become a little bit more ego driven as of late versus being a true servant. And then we have the Queen of Swords in reverse, who is no longer balanced in their energy as a Libra, meaning logic and emotion. They are more so leaning towards logic. There is no empathy or sympathy for things. And so they think in terms of black and white, what's right and what's wrong, not what is correct and true or correct and incorrect. It's more so a morality struggle for them. And so there's some type of way that they're supporting these notions, and these two have gotten together and they're teaming up. Now, this will be said, their intentions from where they're sitting is to help you and to save you, but they're in the reverse. The energy don't lie. This is a self-serving thing. So to take notice of that, to still love them as your family, but to distance yourself in terms of letting them know what you're doing and what's going on. Even if you have to play possum and just never speak about what you're doing again, just do that. And even if they ask you, well, what's going on with that? Are you still involved in that? And da 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 da. You're like, you know what? No. You know what I mean? And you may, I don't want to lie about it. You're not lying about it. You're just not telling them what they don't need to know. They don't need to know. Because what's the point of them knowing when all they're going to do is speak out of turn and disrespectful, and then that's going to build a certain love because you're in a newbie state. Okay. And if you listen too much to them, you're not going to hear God's voice, the divine's call for you, and it'll get bogged down and you'll just get off the path. And it took so long for you to even accept the gift, okay, that you're being called to do. So the Six of Pentacles in reverse with the Death card upright. The Six of Pentacles in reverse is about right now your family is breadcrumbing you, meaning they're playing nice, they're smiling, they're doing all these things. People are not confronting you directly, but you're noticing that the energy and things are switching up, especially the direct relatives of these two matriarchs. They are the offspring of them, their children. If you even have nieces and nephews, everybody's is a little bit weird with you right now, as if they don't know you and everything else, but they're playing nice. Okay, maybe the kids might be letting things slip because these two are conversing and talking and the kids are hearing everything. So it's a whole situation. But remember, they're moving out of fear and a lack of understanding and a lack of any type of tolerance. No one says you have to agree, but we need to at least have a dialogue to understand that, at least come see where I'm coming from with this. And if you decide at that point that it's like, that's not something I want to have around me and my children or me and my da-da-da-da, then that's fine. You can go your own separate ways, but we don't have to hate each other. You just don't agree with what I do, and that's fine. And that's more than likely what that long distance, that distant relative and ancestor went through as well. But they were very successful. And that friendship, that cousin bringing it to you really did let you know, like, hey, listen, they did that. They went through that too, but girl, babe, they were so successful. They followed their gift and they helped so many people. It's amazing, right? Okay. The fruit of the vine. There's many ways to help and be of service to God and the divine. Some people do it one way, other people do it, come on now. We got 195 different countries. We got so many different religions going back to BCE, before Common Era. So you got to, when you do your research, you understand that there's so many different aspects and understanding of how God is, who God is, what God is, the creator, the divine, etc. There's nothing wrong with the way that they're doing it either. But at the same time, there's nothing wrong with what you're doing. It's about the peace within yourself. And of course, the all-knowing God in your ear and in your heart telling you what to do. Chariot in reverse with the Knight of Swords. With this transformation, the Chariot in reverse is your progress, but this progress must remain private to you. Okay, remember that part because what you're going to be doing, you're going to be shedding energies as well. You're going to be seeing the world in a different light, and being around people who are still on a specific wavelength and energy and frequency and vibe. They're not going to understand things. And right about now, you're coming out of that. You're transforming. So if you continue to try to put your feet in both places, the place that you're most familiar with and comfortable with will win. So you're going to have to walk that path of change and transformation, and that path must be kept quiet. Hence, if they're asking you about what's going on or being nosy or whatever the case may be, just, no, I'm good right now. Just been focused a lot on work. I've been so busy and da 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 da. And getting them off the scent and off the trail so that you can be at peace. And then the Knight of Swords is here. When the time comes, you'll know what you need to say and what needs to be said in order to keep them at peace and at bay. Okay, because it's always a good choice to be a peaceful influence on your environment. You don't have to. No one has to know what you're doing, because you don't need their okay and their approval. There it is, Nine of Cups. This will make you happy by keeping your progress to yourself, and only with the people that you know and trust are going to help you, because whoever this relative is that is informing you about this past relative, they're very much involved with what it is that you do, and you didn't know this. Okay, but they're going to reveal that to you too. So let's see. Personal effects. You have support. Remember that statement about earth angels. You have support in that person. 3 more cards, Divine. I agree. It's about envy here. Because you know what? It's always been known that you have the gift. It's always been known. Your intelligence has always been off the charts. Emotional, you've always had an old soul, old wisdom. You've always been able to see through. And really, in reality, they're afraid of you. Okay? Because even this with this Queen of Pentacles and Queen of Swords, those two things upright are phenomenal energies. Now, mind you, everyone else around them sees them as upright. You don't see them like that. You see the shadow that they hide. They're forward facing. Their mask is so perfect. But you see that huge shadow looming behind them. No one else sees it because the light comes off them so bright, like it's a blinding light. Like imagine, you know how when you see when someone is, a cop is going into a dark place and they have their weapon out, but they have the gun so they can blind their opponent and get the shot and see them, but you can't see them. That you can't see where the shot is going to come from. Like you're blinded by the light. And that's how they're forward facing, but underneath is a gun ready to kill, right? But that's how they shoot, but no one else notices that. They're so blinded by that light, that flashlight. They're like, they're doing the hell. I said, whatever you want, I can't see. Da 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 da. And you know, if they're trying to blind you, they're hiding something, and that's what you're looking at. So you immediately, when you see that light, you don't go towards it. You move out the way so you can see that shadow and see what they're doing. Step to the side, see. This Ten of Swords in the reverse. But again, you're wise enough to understand that you don't need to make enemies of these people. Okay? They're still your family. And God, the divine, chose for you to be with these people. And if you allow them to, they're going to make you even better at what you do, because that's the spiritual gifts. That's a part of having the spiritual gifts as well. Dealing with the calamity. Okay, that surrounds you, because how can you really say you're a warrior if you can't deal with people having something to say about what you got to do? Hey, listen, you don't like it, that's cool. Okay, that's perfectly fine. I respect your opinion. End of story. I could tell you some stories, but we don't have that type of time, and furthermore, you're not here for that. But yes, any of us who do anything that's unorthodox in regards to spiritual enlightenment and guidance, we get the book thrown at us. We do. We always do. But does that stop us from helping the people that need help? No, absolutely not. We got to do our job. Just like they got to do their job, we got to do our job too. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. And we have to make sure that we on point, because it's a hard road, and sometimes it's a lonely road, but it's worth it. And not only because of helping others, but because of how much you help yourself. Okay? The Four of Pentacles, and then we have the Two of Cups in reverse with the Six of Pentacles. What you're going to have to do is fully rely on your familial love and respect. And you're going to have to constantly remind yourself of the good that you know resides in these people. What you're seeing right now is the fear. And again, ever since you were young, you were able to see past the masks. You've always been able to do it. You've never been afraid to call out the truth and be like, that's not right. And so they've always, and now they have a reason. Now they got a bone, and they're never they're gonna hold on to that bone for dear life with this Four of Pentacles. Now they're like, oh, see, that's what it's always been. You've always had some type of spirit on you and everything else. Yeah, the spirit of the Most High. You're right. I always have. I've always been able to see clearly, and I've never been afraid to say what it is. You're right. You are correct. I agree. You're right. You're right. Because if you take a look over their life, they probably have always dealt with some shenanigans, and you haven't been able to roll through life. It's been difficult. It's been challenging, but you ain't never been made a fool of, and they may have been made a fool of several times. They fall for the okie doke a lot. Since they wear a mask, they tend to fall for people that wear masks. The example would be they've been played, they've been ran about with their romantic connections, their friends, and everything else. There's always some drama and commotion and calamity going on. Your life has been one of peace, because as soon as you sniff it in the air, you get that feeling of that vibe. No, it's a slight chill in the air, and Aries be like, you got it, but you've been labeled as short-tempered, and you don't stick around. You don't. No, I don't need this. Look, this is BS. You don't do that whole, well, you should just give them the benefit of the doubt because they look a certain way. They got a little money. They driving a little car. They doing a little job. You like, what they got to do with their character? This person is obviously off. And lo and behold, 3 months, 6 months, a year, 5 years in, eventually it all falls down. And you're like, don't even say nothing. Like, I don't need to say nothing. It's like, it happened. The universe told you what it is. I tried to warn you. But you wanted to say, I was wrong. Okay. Pride comes before, destruction. Warning and pride. You want to be prideful? There it is. Now, the Two of Cups in reverse. You are recognizing that you're out of emotional unity with these people, but that does not mean that you do not love them. And that love should be the center of how you deal with them. You should have empathy for them, and at times sympathy for them, because it's just fear and all of their ugly little friends that are keeping these people moving towards you the way that they are. The Two of Swords here with the Three of Pentacles in reverse, and then the Seven of Swords in reverse. Yeah, you're on the path of truth and enlightenment. The Two of Swords is here clarifying the death. There'll be times that you choose to follow your emotional energy, and there'll be times that you follow your head. The divine will allow you to make the choice and also give you informed decision as to why you're making that choice. So right now, this is going to be the time where you draw closer and closer to God and the divine and your ancestors, etc. How your divine supernatural team. Okay, this is the time. This is your 40 days in the desert. Your 40 days and your 40 nights. You're going to be tested, darling. Okay, but here's the thing. You're going to pass. Because and it's going to lighten your load once you come through. Okay, because it may be a person where you're no longer being invited to the family functions. People who have been, y'all have been cool all this time. Now you deal with them and they turn against you and acting like you something that you're not. That's okay, because your load is being lightened. You no longer have to deal and worry with that. And as those people move out of the way, the real family, your chosen family, is going to come in and support you. And you will understand, and you're going to draw closer to God, and your strength is going to be built, and it's going to be fantastic. The Seven of Swords in reverse, all the lies and deception, everything that you've known in the past, you're going to, when this night, clarifying this Knight of Swords, the truth is coming out. And it's not going to be something that you have to do. Okay? You're not going to have to cast one spell, meaning you're not going to need to talk negative about these people or anything else. The fact that energy is revived within the family, you're going to start to see a lot of people and a lot of things and a lot of information exposed. Because it has to be made clear for you to break free and do what you got to do. That those generational those chains are going to be broken. You have to be let go. You have to break free. You cannot deny your family, but you cannot be under the influence of your family any longer. Okay? All right. May I have 4 cards for guidance, divine guidance moving forward, please? 4 best cards, divine. 5 of Swords in reverse, Page of Swords in reverse, 2 of Wands in reverse, the Sun card in reverse. Yeah. Remember that footsteps in the sand. Is it footsteps or footprints? Is it footprints? That might be a good one for you to look up at this time and keep that and read that when you need it. And the Serenity Prayer too. And also the Prayer of Jabez. So, 5 of Swords in reverse. If you feel like you're being dishonest, you're not. You're being strategic. Mainly because this is not a battle that you need to fight. It's God got it. You don't need to get in the way. You don't need to get your hands dirty. This is a spiritual battle, and it's in the supernatural realm, and all you need to do is pray and call on, call on the Lord, call on the divine. It's going to get handled. It's in the space that you can't. That's not your thing. When it gets to the physical space, you'll be told what to do. But right now, everything is in the spiritual realm. That's not your domain. Your job is to call in your divine supernatural team and have them get to work and give them permission. Like, hey, y'all handle this. Like, it's going to be coming to the point that I don't even know what's happening. I give y'all full permission to take care of me and to protect me. Do whatever it is that you need to do. Okay? Page of Swords and the 2 of Wands in reverse. There's no need for you to be trying to watch and trying to figure out what this means and what that means. Walk with your head high and your heart open and your mind ready to receive the good news. 2 of Wands in reverse. Certain partnerships are going to come to an end. So relationships are going to break apart. Some of them will be permanent. Others will be temporary. And the Sun card here is to remain joyful. Remain joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Okay? All right, Aries. I hope the session was of help to you, and I appreciate you. And remember, back then is not now. Always be in harmony with your surroundings. Stay sucker free. Hope to see you again.